You're tuned into Taiwan Grooves. Let's explore the local music scene. Greetings and welcome to today's slightly unusual episode. Normally, I bring you an artist, but today's guest is someone just as fascinating from behind the scenes. Joining me is Max, a live sound engineer who has worked with major artists like Mayday, Chen, Wang Fu, and many others across venues in Taiwan, Shanghai, and beyond. Max is here to share his experience and give us an inside look into the world of live sound, how it compares to studio engineering, what's changed over the years, and how he first got into the profession. We'll also talk about his past working journey, collaborating with the big names, some unforgettable moments, and what local bands look for when it comes to their sound. So let's get to it and welcome Max in the studio. So today in the studio we have Max, a live engineer, or also known as FOH, you say, front of house?
That's it.
Hello.
Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you for coming. This is the first time we have a live engineer in the studio. I'm very happy because it's going to be a little different. And I have plenty of questions that I'm very interested and curious myself. Okay. So I hope you can help me answer them.
I think better to say live mixing engineer.
Live mixing engineer.
Yeah, I think that's the better.
What would be the difference? Like, you mostly take care of like live performances, parties. Now, do you also somebody sends you recording and you deal with that?
I work in a friend's studio, and sometimes we record there. Once in a while, we get people who recorded their stuff. They send the multitrack. We call them stems now.
Stems, okay.
They send everything. We mix it and send a stereo file back. We have jobs like that, or sometimes I have friends in Canada. They record with the output of the mixer, into a recorder. They send me the file, and they ask me, "Can you do something?" And then
can you improve?
Yeah.
Wait, so do you prefer doing in-studio jobs or do you prefer doing live?
Live, yeah.
What would be the reason?
The punch you get in the stomach when the bass drum is hit.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
No, the power, it feels like you, maybe it's similar to a pilot who's in an airplane, the feeling you have all this thing in front of you and you're in control of everything. Things now became very small. We used to have big mixers as big as the table here, and now everything is small. Where I work at Pipe, we have a wave system. It's the 2 computer screens, 4x3. They're not even 16x9, and a keyboard and a mouse. So that's my system. But two remote control, like faders.
Right.
But the mix is done in the computer.
So it's no longer console like this one that I have here.
It's like maybe smaller than this, but 2 of them.
Well, actually, in some bars or clubs or live houses, I also seen everything was done on iPad.
Yep.
You just download the app, connect, and that's what he was doing. He was running around, listening from different angles.
When that thing came out, I was in Shanghai, and I saw the Mackie came out with the first one. The first one I saw.
Yeah.
I bought one. It's a 16-channel little mixer. It's quite small, and everything is done on the iPad. If you don't have the iPad, you cannot do anything.
Does it really replace everything? Do you feel like it's...
Well, it was good for me is because on gigs, when we go on a site, most of the time, the mixer is not where you want it to be. So in some cases, I remember mixing behind the stage, and I have to walk maybe like every 4 or 5 minutes, go walk outside, listen, and come back. But now you put the mixer wherever you want, and you can walk with the iPad.
Right, because you need to be mobile at some point.
And that is perfect because you only need a chair in the venue, and you can be anywhere in the venue. If the guide, your client tells you cannot go there or stay on that side or that side. That gave me one problem, though. You need a very powerful router.
Right, because if you move around, might disconnect.
So I bought, it's only when I bought the 4th one, I found something that was working the way I wanted. Because everything else was, you have no distance.
Well, a small venue, it's not a problem. But
and now I found one I can go about 100 meters with it.
Oh, wow.
So
you can go to a family mart to buy a drink.
Yeah, so I bring it. If I ever go do a gig somewhere, I bring it with me. And
Awesome. I'm very interested in, you have a lot of experience from what I've seen, and I'm excited to hear some stories.
Sure.
So
Anything.
I would like to kind of start with a little bit of your past, if you don't mind, and then we'll move on to what you've been up to recently. But how does one even go for the live sound engineer? Like, how do you even start with the industry? Do you know people? Did you study it?
I started with my friends had a band,
Mm-hmm.
and I was not interested in learning music.
Mm-hmm.
And I always had fun with electronic stuff in my home. And one day I went with those friends into a practice room, and they had a mixer, so I just tried and started to like it.
Mm-hmm.
I was already doing some light for little events.
Was it like a part-time job or?
Yeah, part-time. I
Part-time.
was still studying by then when I started. And slowly it started like this, and then later I got better. I had an old friend who opened a little studio in his home, more for practicing with his band. We had a studio master board. We don't see those anymore. They were made
Rarely.
in English, if I remember, and they were endorsed by Phil Collins.
Oh.
We had like... Anyway, I went to work for a company, an audio company, and that company was selling those boards, and they had promotions with Phil Collins on it. And, it was funny. So I started with the band. I liked it. Then I joined an audio company. But I didn't do long because it was too demanding physically.
Mm-hmm.
You see me, like I don't have like the biggest muscles, and also I didn't have enough endurance to work every day from 9 a.m. to 1 or 2 a.m.
So they needed you to like get to a venue, move everything, set it up.
Yeah, audio company. So we had the stuff, the equipment. We go there, we install it, we do the operation, then we pack it and go back.
Mm.
And the next day do the same thing again. Sometimes we're lucky. We have 2 or 3 days without any events.
That's good. That means there was demand. But yeah, I can imagine being like physically demanding.
Yeah.
a lot.
So I stopped, and then what happened? Oh, because I was living in a small town in
Mhm.
Quebec, and every year we had a couple of events. Every town who will organize something, like it could be fireworks or a show or whatever, they can ask for a subvention. I mean, some money to help with the
festivities.
yeah. So every year I would be doing the PA for that, the
Right.
FOH engineer for this show.
Okay.
So I got my experience like that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you had plenty of experience, and then you came to Asia.
Yep.
First, you went to Taiwan,
I came to Taiwan first, yeah.
and
Right.
then you relocated due to more work to Shanghai. So, if I could ask for a little, not even comparison, but was there any noticeable difference between working there and here? Like, did live houses, did the artists, did the studio had different requirements for you to something to readjust, or did you know everything? Was it the same as here over there?
The toughest thing I would say was the noise of the city.
The noise of the city.
Yeah, that was annoying to me in the beginning. And I recall in Taipei, when I got in Taipei, it was the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
because I come from the countryside,
Right.
so it was difficult.
Quietness.
So I went to Shanghai. The noise was also the action. Everything was going faster, and even people think Taipei is a fast-running city. Life every day is life is
Yeah.
everything's running fast. Shanghai was faster.
Yeah.
The people there, somehow it was easier to work with other foreigners. And regarding working with local people, like if I say with Taiwanese and Chinese over there, because I mostly work with Taiwan clients almost until 4 or 5 years. And then I had my first foreigner friend in Taipei
Wow.
after being here so long, because I was working all the time with Taiwanese artists.
Was there an opportunity from a Taiwanese company? How did you see the way to come here?
I came to Taiwan as a tourist. I was here for 3 months. And when I was here, I went to see a concert. It was Wubai. It was in Banqiao.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already speaking some Chinese I learned in Montreal. And after the show, I went to the control tower, and I just went to talk with the people. And they asked me to come visit our company. And that was 1998. And they were lacking audio engineers by then.
Mm.
So there was like a bit of interest in knowing me. So I went there. We talked a couple of hours. Then they invited me to go with them doing another concert of Wubai. When we were there, I was just like not an observer, but helping a bit and understanding how things were working. And so I did that. And not long later, they asked me if I wanted to do a gig for them. So the gig was interesting. I was in Taiwan for maybe a month and a half. And so they say, okay, come to the office on that day. So we went to Taipei City Hall. And the gig was quite interesting. It was Taipei Mayor. It was Chen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a simple gig. 2 wireless microphones, 2 podium microphones, CD players, because MP3s were not out by then. And that's it. It was not a show, actually. It was the mayor giving... he made a speech, and then the students were lining up. I think there were 200 or 300 of them, one by one, to receive their, how you call it,
like
the
graduating certificate.
Yeah, for the primary school.
Right.
It was quite interesting. Anyway, after that, we started to talk about coming and work for them. I mean, staying in Taiwan and work for them. So I said I have to go back to Canada anyway, and I cannot just stay there because I had a house, I had a car, I had not a house but an apartment
with a backpack.
So I said I'll go back to Canada. I'll think about it and let you know. So that's what I did. Then I came back. What happened after that? Oh, okay. So I came back to Taiwan to start working. They gave me a work permit. And I think after 1 year, my sister and her boyfriend, they came to visit. And they said, listen, Max, people would be very happy if you could come back for the year 2000, for the New Year event. The New Year, the celebration, I'll call it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back that day. I went back a second time. So that was 2000. I went back one more time, 2001, 2002. And after that, it was 2005. I was working with Mayday at that time. And they asked me to go to work for them for 2 concerts in California.
Wow, 2005. So they were already pretty popular.
Oh yeah. I mean, the first company I worked for, they had a rehearsal room, and Mayday came a few times to practice. At that time, they were already famous, not maybe as big as now, but they were already famous. I mean, I worked for that company for 2 years. Then I left because of some conflicts between me and my boss. So I went to work for another company for about less than a year, and I became freelance. And there was this guy working with Mayday. He was working for Mayday and for Bobby Chen. He was their concert producer. He didn't have a lot of clients. He had 2 major clients and maybe a couple of small ones because it's very demanding.
Yeah.
So what happened is one day Bobby Chen had a concert in a live house that no longer exists. It was at Huashan. Yeah. So it was the Huashan live house.
Uh-huh.
It was opened by the bass player of Ubai,
okay,
Xiao Zhu. So that day Bobby Chen had a gig there, and his engineer had a problem. I don't recall what was the problem. So the guy I knew who was taking care of the concert for him, he came, Max, we have a problem. Can you come? So that was on the same day.
Right.
I didn't know before.
Come save us.
Yeah, so I went there, I did my gig, and the second day, that guy, let's call him my client, he sent me an email. He said, open this link. So it was a page where people could react to the concert, send their opinions and everything, and they say, wow, that Lao Wai did a great job. And so I was happy. I never thought I would be able to work with a professional, somebody who was that famous at that time.
So did you become the regular guy?
For him, yeah. I worked for him a few times and did a couple of his... he's famous for his Kuan Yan Yan Chang Hui. And I did 2 for him.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was crazy because we started... It was like a 3-day job. First day, installing, making everything working well.
Yeah.
And a short rehearsal, a sound check, not really a rehearsal. Second day was a second sound check and a long rehearsal. And the day of the event, in the afternoon, a short rehearsal. And then the show starts at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked until, I think it finished at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
The show finished at 2 a.m. And I had no helper. I had a big board. It was in TICC, just next to the 101.
Uh-huh.
And I had to go to the bathroom at one point. The TICC was packed. Have you been in that room before?
I have.
Yeah, the one that the long one. That's yeah. So I was in the middle. There's some kind of a place to walk from side to side.
Yeah.
So I was there, and then I had to go to the bathroom, and It was crazy. I said, "Can I leave? Do I leave or do I not leave?" So I left because my it was about to get too much. So I left. I went to the bathroom by running, and when I was in the bathroom, the fireworks started on Taipei 101. It was like total coincidence. And I ran back to my board and nobody noticed anything.
That's
and
good.
I decided to go there at the beginning of a song, so I have enough time before the end of the song to come back and make changes if I had to. So that was the first time. And the second year, I say I need an assistant because I might have to go to the bathroom.
Of course.
You know, you remember things like that. I don't even remember the content of the show or what happened. I remember the people, the musicians, because we met them very often. I remember the guests also. He had a couple of guests. And why am I telling you about this? I'm just telling you that after I started to work with Bobby Chen, one day Mayday was doing a tour. They just released a CD. I think the one with the Shan de Xiaohai, the God's kids are dancing. I think it's that translation. It's about right. So they started to do their tour. And one day, the same friend who gave me the Bobby Chen gig, he called me. He said, "Max," he told me the engineer who does the tour had a family member who died and he had to leave, and they asked me if I can go sub for that day until they find somebody else. I was shaking because that was Mayday, and Mayday was already famous by then, very famous. So I went there, I did my sound check, and when I was doing my sound check, the board was on a little platform, and in front of me it was Guai Shou and Shito, the two guitar players of Mayday.
Yeah.
They were standing in front of me, and with their arms like this, like cross-eyed,
watching you,
checking everything, and they didn't say anything. I did the whole sound check, and they didn't say anything. And I was touching my buttons and pushing my things and my faders, and my hands were shaking. I was so nervous. Anyway, so we did the gig. It went well. I go back home, go to sleep. Then in the middle of the night, my phone rings. It's my client, my friend. He said, "Max, Mayday wants you to finish all the concert for the tour." I said, "Okay."
So beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. And that's how I started with them. Well, actually, I started with two in the same way. I mean, subbing. I was subbing for somebody else.
Yeah, that's how it happens. You sub, you do a good job. Suddenly, you're not the sub anymore.
Yeah. So so anyway, that's how I got to go to USA with Mayday, because they were saving some money. They were saving a translator. To me, it's a good thing because I'm happy I learned Chinese and I can use this to work. And we only put an English word once in a while in the conversation or when we talk about equipment. Where was I? What's coming?
In the US.
Oh, yeah, in the US. The US, something funny happened there. So there was that company who was providing the sound system. We were doing the sound checks. Everything went well, mostly speaking in English with the band assistants, because Mayday doesn't do their own sound check. They have each member has an assistant.
They do their sound check
to go on the stage and do their sound check.
Really?
Yes, that's very interesting, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I would want to hear my sound if I was the guitar guy.
Yeah, but I mean, they're trained. They work with them all the time. They are
of course, you must know exactly what they want.
They are full-time working for Mayday. So even if they have no concert, they're still working with them.
Yeah.
So I did the sound check, and then Mayday came on the stage and started rehearsing. And at one point, between two songs, the drummer, his name is Guan Yu. I don't know if you know their names, but anyway. Okay, so little funny thing that happened that was in Los Angeles. We were in a boxing arena.
Ooh.
They switched the boxing thing for a stage, a band stage. So my story is very funny. So Guan Yu told me about a problem, and his monitor had to be moved. So he was talking to me in Chinese. So I was replying to him in Chinese. And the guy representing the audio company was just next to me. So I just wanted to tell him the drummer wants his monitor moved a bit. And he was looking at me, like, I don't know how to describe this face. I'm showing it to you.
Shocked. Like, wait, what?
It was like that. And I said, what? He said nothing. And then he went. And then I realized it's because he found out I was able to speak Chinese. I guess. But that was 2005. Yeah. 2005. At that time, internet was not that crazy, and you would not see people talking Chinese in movies, or it was not very
rare,
popular thing. Yeah,
sure.
it was quite rare. So anyway, it was. I will never forget his face. It was very nice.
Maybe you spoke Chinese to him accidentally, and he was just.
No, I did not. I did not. So 2005 also the last time I went back home. Because I was in Los Angeles. I told the promoter to give me a plane ticket back to Taipei. I asked them to give me 10 days.
Yeah.
So I went back to Montreal and flew back to Los Angeles later to fly back here. And after that, I went back to Canada only once. It was in 2017. That's when it was not possible anymore to get a work permit in Shanghai. I had to leave and go get a tourist visa.
How long were you in Shanghai?
11 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
I went there the Olympics year in 2008, and I came back in.
So what made you come back then?
Because I could not find any work over there, and it was better than going back to Canada. I'd say.
I see.
I came back just in time before COVID. It was crazy. I mean, if I waited 2 more months, I would not be able to.
You'll be stuck there.
Yeah. But I was lucky, like I said. I came back just in time.
Yeah, at least you could get back. Because a lot of people got stranded and couldn't come back.
Yeah.
All right. Now more questions
Yes.
about after so many hours, weeks, years of listening, mixing, mastering, everything. How do you maintain your ears and focus after long hours? Like, was there any trick? Did you have to protect the ears?
Well, the worst case would be refusing a gig if it's like a gig just before an important studio recording. You know, I did that not many times, maybe twice, because we don't have lots of big clients as a studio, but we have this saxophone teacher, and he's been encouraging us since I'm here. He used to be the teacher of my friend who owns the studio. And this man is very happy to come to see us because we're not too busy. So he doesn't have to wait in line. And
doesn't have to plan.
Yeah, and sometimes he can even call us and can I come tomorrow? And half the time it will be possible.
Yeah.
So when this guy comes, I want to be as best as possible for working with him. So if I have a gig, like a live gig, I might ask if I can be replaced, or if I'm asked for a gig and I know it's before a recording with him, then I will say I'm busy.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one solution. The other solution is when I work, for example, at Pipe, which is right now the loudest place I work, and we work at 100 to 110 dBs.
It's by the river there.
Yeah, by the river.
Okay.
Yeah, under the bridge, just under the bridge. It's just next to the Zilai Shui Bohuguan. Running Water Museum.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been a couple of times.
Yeah.
Honestly, I went there once for a festival.
Yeah.
And I was kind of shocked. I think the engineer was doing something else than he was supposed to.
That's possible.
Because the drums were too loud. Like the vocal had to strain a little bit, and like everything else was drowned out. And I was thinking, my ears are they that good, or just they're not hearing it? Like the drums were too high, and it was to the point where like I had to really focus to hear guitar and piano. And I was thinking,
and sadly, there's nothing much you can do about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So my question coming from this would be, would you say that sounding good, how much comes from equipment and how much does an engineering or mastering or live engineer do, in your opinion?
Experience?
Can an engineer make someone sound so good, like to certain extent? You know what I mean? Like, let's say there is the engineer there, like a coach in a sports team. Like, does he really play an important role for everything to happen?
Okay. A normal engineer in Taiwan and in China will be like servicing the band. So the band asks for something, you will do it.
Right.
And many will do it without even thinking about anything. So, for example, the band asks for a change, and this change might influence something in the whole mix or in the show. So he might know, he might not know, but he will still do what the band is asking for.
Yes.
Now you have the other kind of engineer, would be me or somebody else about my age who has a lot of years of experience. And in my case and our case, we can refuse or just say, listen, if I do that, you'll have this problem. Or
so
can
give
we
your little input in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the best thing to do is offer alternative. I can do that though,
Mhm.
and most of the time it will work. But also the younger engineer, they will never dare asking or telling them something like that.
Right.
They will wait until the problem comes out. Then the band will notice the problem, and the band will say, "Okay, change that," or "What's happening?" And then
And
the
they will
problem
blame
will
the
fix.
engineer.
No, yeah, maybe. It depends, I
Because
guess.
from a perspective it makes sense. You have more experience of doing it, so the band, even though they have some requirement, they'll say do it this way.
Yeah.
I would definitely be like, what do you think we should do? Because you've been in that position. Like, the performers know their place on the stage, but they don't know their place behind the monitors and everything. So yeah,
it's complicated.
it's complicated.
And every artist has their own personality.
So do you run into
There's-
a lot where people say do A, and then you do A, and you'll be like, I told you.
But it doesn't happen much.
No, it doesn't
Because
matter.
I don't do as much PA as before. And now the people I work with, like pipe, the bands who play at pipe, if they are like more famous bands, they will have their own engineer with them.
Yeah.
So when I work there, I usually work with indie bands, local indie bands, and they are eager to learn, and they are willing to listen to everything I say because they know I have a little fame. People know me.
Yeah.
So they're happy to let me do it the way I think is best. And sometimes I will ask, what do you want? Because I might be stuck with something. Most of the time is like they don't tell me what kind of, the lead vocalist will not tell me what kind of effect he likes on his voice.
Okay.
Some will say, soy bien ni. Some will say a little reverb. And sometimes people say, I don't want anything.
Just
Just
raw,
dry.
complete.
Yeah.
So do you prefer to have it in your own control? Do you prefer when they give you an instruction?
I prefer when they give some instructions because they have their own, every band, they are serious about their sound and they have like a concept. They know how they want to sound like. Sometimes they will tell me like there's a keyboard in the band, but they say the keyboard has to be in the back, not too loud. The guitar have to be very clear, but we need to hear the keyboard still. So things like that. Also, they will tell me which one is the solo guitar.
Right.
When they have two guitar players, sometimes one is a soloist, the other one is a rhythm only.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't tell me, so I will ask. And I think they like it when I ask questions because
Of course, because you're trying to understand what they're aiming for.
Yeah. So they're happy because they feel I care about what they want to do. So that's something I learned with experience also. In the beginning, I was like those younger engineers I was talking to you about. And did I answer your question?
Yes,
Yeah?
perfectly.
Okay,
I'm very
okay.
happy.
Okay.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
And that's all we have for today's episode, but be sure to come back next week where we will talk about more about mixing and engineering in different styles and genres, some things that most people don't know about it, the advantages compared to a home studio, and some valuable feedback for engineers and bands out there. So see you next week. Bye-bye.